Hi, this is Bob Vineyard with the Georgia Medicare Minute. Let's talk about Medicare supplement rates. This is a somewhat popular topic, and everybody has a different way of approaching things. I talked to somebody just the other day that was a real number cruncher, and they had been doing all kinds of research and looking at rate increases and trying to get information on carriers and looking at their A M Best rating and all of this kind of stuff. And they thought they had everything narrowed down until we talked. Let's talk about what is currently the most popular plan in Georgia, and actually about 90% of my clients have this plan. It's a G plan, Medicare Supplement G, also known as Medigap G. And keep in mind, Medigap and Medicare Supplement are interchangeable terms, just like Kleenex and tissue. So without naming names, as I said, they had narrowed their search down to a handful of carriers, let's just say. And they were focusing on A-rated carriers, big name, household names, and wanted to know my opinion. Well, all right, here's my opinion, and I'm going to refer to some notes that I made. So I normally, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I just kind of shoot from the hip and say what's on my mind. I still say what's on my mind in this one, but I'm going to refer to it. The G plan in Georgia, currently there are 52 different choices. You're not going to find those on Medicare.gov. 35 of those have an A rating from A M Best, and that's A minus, A plus, A plus plus. But 35 of the 52 have an A rating. 13 of the 52 have B ratings, 4 are not rated at all. But let's go back to those A ratings. 10 of the 35 are either considered negative or it's under review by A M Best. So that might give you a little bit of pause. From a personal standpoint, this is just an editorial. Having been in the insurance business for over 40 years, and have worked with and for A and A plus carriers as well as B carriers, my preference for a lot of different reasons are the B carriers. They're financially sound. Some of them are more financially sound than the A-rated carriers, which may seem kind of odd, but they're just a lot easier to work with than the bigger carriers. So now that means out of the 52, 35 have A ratings. Really only 25 are carriers that if you want to go by A M Best ratings, you should consider. 13B, 4 not rated at all. Here's my acid test. I look at carriers that have been in the Medigap business, active in the Medigap business, in this case, writing Plan G in Georgia, for 5 or more years. Now, of those 52, only seven have been writing the Plan G here for 5 or more years. The least expensive carrier, the carrier with the lowest rate that meets certain criteria, including the A M Best rating, has a rate of $140 a month. It doesn't matter about the zip and so forth. But anyway, on the report that I looked at, they have a $140 rate. They are 33 on the list of 52, which means that there are 32 carriers that have rates lower than them. The other 6 carriers that have been writing the Medigap Plan G here for 5 or more years have rates that are higher than $140. Now, I didn't break it down as to how many of those A-rated how many of those are A-rated or B-rated or whatever. It's just that there are only 7 out of 52 that have been writing the Medigap Plan G here for 5 or more years. Why is 5 years a benchmark for me? Because there are a lot of carriers that have gotten in and out of the Medigap business over the last few years. Some of them only stay in for a couple of years. Some of these carriers, including ones that are A-rated, have only been in the Medigap business for a few months or a few years. Some of them are owned by large, well-known carriers. But here's a heads up. You're not buying from a large, well-known carrier. You're buying from a subsidiary. They could decide at any time to sell that subsidiary, to close it down, and you're possibly stuck. So don't go counting on an A rating and a big name carrier and the parent is this and that, because subsidiaries can go with the wind. So basically, this is my approach to things. I do look at carriers that have been in the business for 5 or more years. I do look at something other than the A M Best rating, because I've found that to not be a reliable benchmark personally. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't use that. But if you're looking for A-rated carriers with a name that you know, and that's what you're going to hang your hat on, you may be disappointed at some point down the road. So, if you want my help, I'll be glad to give you information on the carriers that are out there. I'll give you my recommendation, and if you feel like my information is valuable, then maybe you'll allow me to be your agent. This is Bob Vineyard with the Georgia Medicare Minute. You take care. Have a great day.